Yo, people, so we have the early prelims because this is a numbered event, right? And that's just the way shit goes down. Now, there are 4 fights. Yes, 4 fights in our early prelims. Really interesting matchups. The opening, right, is the flyweights. We have Clayton Carpenter against Jose Ochoa, right? Now, Jose Calzifa Ochoa, he is 25, 5'7", 67-inch, right? He's got a overall pro record of 8-2 with 1 no contest. In the UFC, he's 1-2, right? He is currently on a 1-fight skid. Yeah, right? So the last time we saw him, now it's been a minute, right? He fought on the 26th of July 2025 against Chimaev. He lost a unanimous decision. Now, he made his debut, right? He was meant to do the contender, but he was brought on, right, to fight Lonnie Kavanaugh. So that was the 23rd of November 2024. He lost the decision, but we know how good Kavanaugh is, especially after that last short notice join up in Mexico City, right? So, yeah, that didn't go his way. He comes back 14th of June 2025 and knocks out Cody Djorden in the second round. Yes, gets a performance of the night bonus, right? Now, obviously, as mentioned, he then took a short notice, right? Because, that was the 14th of June. Took a short notice in July against Chimaev. That didn't come off. But that's what happens at times, right? When we look at his fights outside the UFC. Now, he's I don't think none of those fights went the distance, right? All stoppages, and his first pro fight wins with a head kick. Now, obviously, it wasn't in a known regional event, but hey, it's still something, right? Still something. Actually, that wasn't his first. That was his third fight. My bad. But yeah, first fight wins with a knockout. Second round, first round knockout. Second fight, the head kick. He then hits a liver shot knockout. Right? First round, there's a no contest. Something happened. So obviously there was an illegal shot of some kind, right? I feel they should give you that information. You know what I mean? They never do. I don't know why, right? It just says a legal knee, but not who threw the knee. I think that's pertinent information for people's, you know what I mean? But anyway. Now, so most of them being knockouts, apart from his one LFA appearance where he gets a first round anaconda against Jocelino Pantoja, right? That was the 3rd of November 2023. That's the only indication of, a jiu-jitsu proficiency. Everything else has been, standing, right? So his opponent Saturday night, right, is going to be Clayton Carpenter, who I thought Clayton had a nickname, but yeah, we're not showing one, which interesting, right? Oh yeah, I thought he had a nickname, but obviously not. Okay, so okay, we're just having a bit of a slow connection day, it would seem. Ah, dear. Okay, here we go. So Clayton, he is 29, 5'6", 66-inch reach, right? He is 8-2. Fights out of MMA Lab. So within the UFC, he's 2-2. Ender series. Went 3-0 in the LFA. Right. God damn it. Stupid computer. Okay, so he got that contract. Let's have a look. On the 9th of August 2022 with a unanimous decision over Edgar Chimaev. Yes. Right, so then he made his UFC debut on the 18th of February 2023. Right, he got a first round rear naked over Giancarlo Randeros. You know what I mean? Started off well. And then in his second fight, another rear naked, Lucas Rocha. This time in the second round. And he picks up a performance of the night bonus. So, you know what I mean? Everything is rosy. However, 2025 wasn't his year, right? He lost a decision on the 18th of January to Tagir Ulanbekov. And then Jafelo Tulio hit him with a Kimura on the 11th of October. So yes, he needs a win, right? Not everyone can afford to go, you know what I mean, more than 3 losses, right? So I think when you're on that too, it's very imperative, you know, for a lot of cats to be like, yo, I need to, you know what I mean, get back into the green tick section. Right, so looking at his other fights, right? So he has also had wins via head kick, right? His first pro fight, he won with a rear naked. He then got a head kick, unanimous decision, right? Knee bar, head kick, unanimous decision, rear naked. Well, no, so that's now we're in the UFC. So yeah, finishes. Mostly finishes. There have been a couple of subs, right? Have been a couple of subs. So that's what this fight is. It's an interesting one to stand, but we can see that Clayton also has good submissions, maybe more submissions, right, than Jose. So yes, that's where it does get is interesting. Jose just has a 1 inch reach advantage. That's it, right? Everything else is pretty, you know what I mean? So it's an interesting fight, right? So if our sole difference is the jiu-jitsu, maybe, you know what I mean? Like, look, I think on the feet it's a pick'em, but yeah, it's that jiu-jitsu. So I think Clayton will be looking for takedowns for sure, and it sometimes it only takes one, right? Only takes one. So I'm taking Clayton for the win. Right now, we go to the middleweights, right? And if Chimaev is on the card, you know that his body is most likely going to be there. So, yeah, he is. Baisangur Susurkaev against Djorden Santos. Whew, I didn't do as badly as I was in that pronunciation. So, yeah, gonna give myself a little pat on the back for that one, right? Yes. Okay. Again, we have a slow internet, but yes. Djorden Santos, aka Shakur, he is 28, 6 foot, 75.5-inch reach. Right, overall pro record of 11-2. He's coming off of a win. He is 1-1 in the UFC. He came via the Contender Series. Right, so he got that contract on the 3rd of September 2024 with a decision over Will Curry. Right, then made his debut 8th of March 2025. He lost a decision to Ozzy Diaz, who we will be seeing later on the card. Right, but came back to get a decision over Danny Barlow, which was definitely, something a lot of people were not expecting. I think I went and picked Barlow for that fight, right? So, you know what I mean? That was a very good win for him, Now, when we look at his fights outside the promotion, right, his last fight before the Contender Series was a regional title fight, right? He won the belt, a 5-round decision. That was for Thunder Fights, right? For their vacant middleweight strap. So there is that, right? Now he's let's look. A lot of the fights, just say win, but there's, he's had a guillotine, right? Some knockouts. Yeah, that's kind of it, right? Not a lot of history on Santos, but he, what I mean? However good he is, he's definitely got a tough matchup ahead, right? Definitely a tough matchup ahead, as he's going up against Hunter Baisangur Susurkaev, right? He is 25, 6'2", 79-inch reach. Whoo! Fighting out of Killcliff. Right? Fighting out of Killcliff. Good team. He is 2-0 in the UFC. He came via the Contender Series, and boy, he looked good doing it, right? I remember he blew Dana away with his win. You know what I mean? So he got that contract on the 12th of August 2025. He stopped Mortaza Tala with just over halfway into the first round. You know what I mean? He then, and it was crazy, right? Because he got that win. He's just like, yo, I want to be on the next card, because he was fighting the following week. And he's like, yo, I'm ready. I didn't take any damage. I want to be on that card. He got on that card, right? Because he looked so impressive. You know what I mean? So he got on that card on the 16th of August, right? And he beat Eric Nolan, second round rear naked choke. And then last time out, right, in November last year, he stopped Eric McComico with a third round knockout. So all is looking good for him, man. All is looking good for him. And outside the promotion, you know, like, he was doing his thing, you know. He has fought a number of times for ACA, right? Yeah, he's fought a number of times for them. And he's also had a fight with Fury, right? Yeah, he's just been doing his thing, man. He's been just taking people out, right? Taking people out. And to be honest with you people, it's hard to go up against Baisangur. You know what I mean? He's just looks so freaking good, right? So freaking good. And training with Chimaev, you know what I mean? He's just gonna have so much confidence, right? So much confidence. So yes, we are picking Baisangur Susurkaev for the win. So we then drop down to the featherweights. We have Pat Sabatini against William Gomis, which is this is an intriguing matchup, right? We have Jaguar William Gomis. He's 28, 6 foot, 73-inch reach, right? Pro record of 15-3. In the UFC, Gomis is 5-1, right? Coming off a win in his last fight, right? Which was 8th of September last year. He beat Robert Rukala decision. And man, like, he was looking good in his career, right? Until, like, you know, on the 1st of March, right, last year, he Hydra meal. And if I remember correctly, it was just that third round. He just wasn't as active as he could have been. But, you know, he's good, man. Like, he's definitely good. He's fought some tough people. Right, made his debut on the 3rd of September 2022, beat Jono Hernandez. He then beat Francis Marshall by a split. Got a stoppage over with a body kick. Had a split win over Jordison Brito. Right, and yeah, that's where we are, right? And I think when we watch Gomis, I think a lot of times you think, man, he looks good, right? But he's not, like, capitalizing on his potential. You know what I mean? Like, we see him do some good things, but then or take the pedal off a little bit, play with his food. You know, so I think that's why he doesn't always have as many finishes as he potentially could have. You know? I mean, that's the thing with Gomis, right? He's talented. It's just, he needs to do a little bit more, right? He needs to do a little bit more. Now, he's getting the wins, right? So it's hard to fault when you're doing that. Right, but it's just like, yeah, because outside, before he got to the UFC, you know, He's won several regional belts, right? He's had some good stoppages, only a couple of losses, right? Morgan Charrier being one of those. But yeah, he's been doing his thing. So Gomis is not an easy opponent, right? But he also has a very tough challenge on Saturday night, right? Because he's going up against Pat Sabatini, who is 34, 5'8", 70-inch reach. Overall record 20-5. So he's vastly the more experienced of the two. You know what I mean? He's what is he? He's 8-2 in the UFC. He's on a 3-fight win streak right now. It's funny, he also was 8-2 in CFFC. Right, so last time out got a unanimous over Chepe Mariscal. And we know how good Chepe is, so that's a phenomenal win. Right, that was the 15th of November last year. He does a lot of grappling for CFFC as well. But they've got a common opponent in Djorden Brito. He got a unanimous over him. He beat Jonathan Pierce, caught him with a rear naked. That's a good one, right? Now, he made his UFC debut. That was on the 24th of April 2021. Beat Tristan Connolly via unanimous decision, right? He then beat Jamal Emmers, hit him with a heel hook, right? Got a performance of the night for that. Then got a decision over Tucker Lutz. Same with TJ Lamy. Lost to Damon, right? Lost that fight. Got stopped in the first. Came back. Hit Lucas Almeida with a second round arm triangle. Lost to Diego Lopez. Diego Lopez was definitely on a super tear at that point too. Right? So, he's had some good wins, some solid wins, right? And all the just all the time, he is taking grappling, right? Which I think, helps sharpen the blade. Help sharpen the blade, you know what I mean? You can get to in camp and everything. Like, your peoples aren't necessarily always going to go as hard, right, as someone that wants that win in front of that crowd. You know what I mean? So, I think that's the thing. And he's actually grappling belts, right? So he's champion at the moment as well. Right, so this is a good fight. Now, Gomis, also, he's had some submission wins, but I think Pat is just a different level. Pat's a different level. Pat is a problem on the ground. And I think the good thing for Pat with this fight is, as I said, Gomis, he's not foot pedal, right? That's not necessarily his style. So I think that will play into Sabatini's wheelhouse, really, So I envision Pat being able to get this to the ground at some point and hit, some of his jiu-jitsu techniques. Right, so our last fight on the early prelims, we're up to the middleweights. We have Roman Kopylov against Marco Tulio. Okay. Right, so let's take a look at this one, shall we? Right, so Marco Tulio, aka Mataluto, right? He is 14-2 overall. Oh, yes, obviously. He's 31, 6 foot, 74.5-inch reach. Okay, so in the UFC, he's 2-1, right? He came via the Contender Series on the second attempt. And that's not to say that the first time was a flop, right? He won that fight, right? That was on the 29th of August, 2023. He got a unanimous decision, didn't get a contract, right? Went back to the regionals, went to LFA, knocked out Semi dos Santos in the second, came back to the Contender, and there also second round stoppage over Matthew Douglas, right? That was on the 27th of August 2024. Made his UFC debut 11th of January 2025, first round, right? Knocks out Ior Paturia. He then Baisangur in the second, right? He runs into Christian Leroy Duncan, gets stopped in the second himself, right? But he comes back, right? Oh, no, he doesn't, actually. No. I thought yes, obviously he doesn't come back. He's 2-1. Yes, so he's coming in off of a loss, right? And that was it to CLD. You know, we can see he's got that tenacity, right? Because he didn't get the contract the first time, went out, got ace, right? Listened. We want to see action. We want to see that desire. So gets a stoppage, comes back, gets a stoppage. So we can see he's got that drive, that tenacity, which is always a good thing. You know what I mean? In his other fights outside the promotion, right, there are stoppages, you know, there are decisions. Nothing wrong with that, right? It shows you've got the gas tank. So yeah, he's got all of those. Like, there's a rear naked early in his second pro fight, right? But it's mainly hands, right? He's mainly doing shit with his hands. So he will be stepping in on Saturday night against Roman Kopylov. Ooh, right? Roman is very good. You know, he's what's it say? Gosh. He's 35, 6 foot, 75-inch reach, 15-5 overall record, right? In the UFC, 6-5, right? He's coming on a 2-fight skid. So he lost a decision last time out to RoboCop Gregory Rodriguez. That was the 15th of November last year. And in July last year, he lost another decision to Paulo Costa. Right, so both of those were very tough matchups for him, right? But he knocked out, just before that, he knocked out Chris Curtis with a head kick in the third round. You know, got himself a performance of the night, right? Actually, no, a fight of the night. for that one. He came to the UFC and it was Homie's debut. Right, it was the 9th of November 2019. He got choked out by Carl Roberson. Man, Carl Roberson. Right, when Carl was really on his game, Carl was good. You know? Yeah, he just, I don't know. Shit just did not work out for him. But yeah, Kopylov lost his debut. Lost his next fight to Albert Durev, but didn't. You could get cut. So, man, he came back and he knocks out, right? He's next. Whew, what? His next 4 opponents, right? Couple of knockouts over Alessandro De Ciccio, Puna Sariano, head kick Claudio Ribeiro, right? And then liver punch to Josh Friend. You know what I mean? Which got him a performance of the night. So, man. And he got a performance for the knockout of Puniel Sereno, right? So, yeah, I mean, he didn't let that skid dent his feelings. You know, he got ragdolled by Anthony Hernandez, but Hernandez was doing that to everyone. Comes back with a win over Cesar Almeida, and then that Chris Kerr. And then we're on the 2-fight skid. So Kopylov, you know what I mean? We've seen him come back from this before, right? We've seen him come back from this before, people. You know? And, yeah, I just think his kicking game is something else, right? He's got great kicks. Oh, my days. Really good on that front. And I think if he can keep that range, right? Use those kicks, just do his thing. I think he's got a good chance because, you know what I mean? He's got great kicks, but he's knocking people out with his hands as well. He's got that karate background, so he will, boom, in, out, right? In, out. And interestingly enough, right? We saw that Tulio, you know what I mean? He found that style difficult with Christian Leroy Duncan. Yes. So I am taking Kopylov for the win, right? I mean, yeah, I just think he's good, right? It's just hard to, you know what I mean? When you're coming from specific disciplines to then add in like grappling and just all of those things. But man, on his feet, Kopylov is a problem. And I think he's going to get the win. So it should be a fun fight to take us into the prelims proper.